Hmm. How's it going, guys? That sniper guy. I know it's been a long time, but I did have something new to share with you. But before we get too far, I wanted to say I've made a lot of excuses, but no more. I'll be at the paintball park this Saturday. Anyone who wants to come out and play, come say hey. But November 16th is the day, and that's going to be at Doodlebug Sports, and that's the outdoor arena. So if you're a fan of the channel, if I've seen you around, I mean, just come up and say hi. Usually my brother-in-law comes out and plays with me, but he's got some prior commitments, so I could use a friend. So if you want to be on my team, come up to the booth, let's play some games. But let's get to the video. Today I wanted to talk about my Tiberius T-15. You've all seen the other guns that I've used and owned and had. My Tippmann pistol, my Comparative R12C, the bolt-action rifle, and in the past I've also used another Tiberius, which was the T9, the modified pistol into the rifle. I want to go over my overall thoughts on this guy right here, give you my likes, my dislikes, compare it to the other guns that I've owned, other markers that I've owned, and I mean, if you've been thinking about getting into MagFed, if you're already into MagFed, you know, who is this for? Are you the target market? You gonna have fun with this thing? Is it worth the money? Etc. So let's get to it. First things first. What do I like about this marker? I mean, what's not to like? First of all, it's modeled one-to-one after an AR-15. If you like real steel, if you like realism, tactical, etc., which I know a lot of us MagFed guys do, you'll appreciate the way this thing feels, man. It's got nice weight to it. It's all metal construction. Obviously, I've done a few modifications to this bad boy. Some of it practical, some of it not. But for what it's worth, it's a fun marker. And even if you're not winning every single game, you're just getting out there and playing, this is something that you're going to enjoy using, hands down. I enjoy just having it in my hands. What else do I like about it? I like the ease of use. So not every MagFed marker that I've tried or used is super user-friendly, and this one has its quirks, but we'll get there. I like the magazines. They're very easy to load, to operate, to use, and to clean, which is very nice. I've had very few jams, very few breaks in the magazines themselves, which is also very nice. The mag release, which is on this side, is very tactile. You don't struggle to find it whatsoever when you're out there in the field and you need to do reload. Everything just has this feeling to it that's just good. It's right where you need it to be. I mean, that's one of the things that everyone loves about their AR-15 is just the way it feels. Well, this thing feels outstanding. What else do I like about it? The amount of modifications that you can make to it. It will take real AR parts. I've got the Delta ring up there. I mean, I haven't done anything too crazy. I don't plan to get too crazy. Maybe a different type of scope or a different upper. But short of that, I mean, I'm not going to get... You suck. Sorry about that. I'm not going to get too crazy with this thing. I like it, kind of the way that I've put it together. The only other modifications that I would make are soon to come. One of Karmatech's rifled barrels. I do want to get that in there for when I finally make the switch to First Strike on this bad boy, because until then, this guy up here is just for information downfield. Doesn't really serve a purpose at this time. What's another modification that I plan on making? Well, different scope. This thing is pretty cheap. Maybe a different grip, different pistol grip, because I don't like the greenish tint that this one's getting. That's about it. Other things that I like about the marker are going to be, it's hard to see, well, you can't see, it's on this side, but the thumb selector, go from single fire to safety to full auto if you have that modification. I do not want it. I prefer single fire. I mean, I use bolt action, for God's sake. And one more thing that I really enjoy about this marker is how punchy it feels in your hand. Every trigger pull feels meaningful. Even when you're not on target, it feels good. You can feel where you're putting the paint. I mean, it doesn't have the recoil of a real firearm, of course. You don't talk about recoil in paintball, but you can still feel the action in this guy when it's going, and it feels good. Alright, now we're going to talk about a few of my dislikes with this marker. First and foremost, a couple of the parts rust. I don't know if that's something that's been updated in newer models. I am the third owner of this marker. I've had the bolt replaced. I've had to modify, well not modify, but have the air tank repaired. But the marker itself it's bulletproof. I haven't had any other issues besides, and it wasn't even an issue that came to me. It was one that I was lucky that the guy would fix before I got the marker. He replaced the bolt, and that was great. Here's a dislike. I dislike the location of this set screw right here. Let's get specific. I like the fact that it exists, don't get me wrong, but you do need a little bit of a riser if you're going to have any sort of clearance for your mask to be able to look through a scope. And to be able to make space for a riser, the upper receiver is a little bit short, and this little set screw right here is the one thing that will allow your barrel to not wiggle or rotate out of place if you care about that sort of thing. Now, as a guy who's very much into precision, I do care about it. It's not that important to me at this time, since I still don't have this thing ready to go for first strike, at least not tuned for it. But that being said, the location of this, where else are they going to put it? I get it, but it's still a little bit finicky to get to in the first place. Another thing that I don't like is if you're just getting into this marker, you're going to think that it's got problems right out of the box. The bolt has to be drawn back before you put air into it. If you just screw in the air tank, and you'll do it if you've gone through this marker 1,000 times, just getting ready for the field, you'll just screw in the air tank, not thinking about it, and you're immediately going to blow all your air right out the barrel. This has to be cocked back first before you gas up the marker, and it's a quirk, sure. It's not necessarily a problem. It just throws you off, you know? One more thing that I do really like about the marker is the disassembly. You have one bolt right here. You pop that pin out of place, the whole receiver breaks down, pull the bolt out, easy strip and clean. Very, very, very easy. There's no parts, you have nothing to lose in the field unless you pull your whole bolt out and your spring goes flying. And if that happens, well, I guess you got some learning to do. But it's very user-friendly when it comes to cleaning, maintenance, and breakdown. One thing that I don't like, and this goes hand in hand with one of the things that I do like, is the pin. Getting this out, it's tight, it should be tight. Usually you need another tool to pop it out, but once you have it open and you're disassembling the marker, if you're not careful, this thing will slam shut on your hand, and it is sharp, and it will cut you. And it sucks. But another quirk about the marker, there's not really much that you can do about that, except don't be a dumbass like me. Here's another thing that I don't really like, is the price point. So I was fortunate to be the third owner of a relatively well cared for rifle, which means that I got a pretty good deal on a highly functional used marker. Now, not every second-hand marker is going to be highly functional, as I'm sure many of you know. But to buy one of these brand new, just the base model, is going to cost you $500, give or take, depending on whatever. And then add on your modifications. So in my opinion, the price point is a little bit high for a mag-fed paintball marker. There are cheaper ones out there, but at the end of the day, I do believe you get a very reliable paintball marker in the field, something that is very, very robust, something that's very reliable and very consistent. And consistency is one of my favorite words in paintball. And that's about it. I don't have a lot of dislikes for this marker. Overall, I think it's very well polished. I think it's fairly user-friendly. It does have its quirks, please don't get me wrong on that. But all of them are manageable, which is big. Now I want to take some time to compare this to what I've used in the past. I've used the bolt-action SAR-12, I've used the Tippmann pistol, and I've used the old Tiberius T9. Let's start with the smallest of the three. So my pistol, I still use. It's a reliable secondary, and honestly a fun primary if you feel like being crazy out in the field. It's not accurate at all. Sometimes you break paint, but for what it's worth, the thing's easy to clean, it's easy to take care of, and it's going to work forever. It's a Tippmann. What else can I say? And it's fun. But it's not really on the scale that everything else that I've used is. So I would say that's in a bit of a category of its own. And if I had to say one or the other, hell yeah, this is amazing. Now let's compare it to its cousin, the T9, Tiberius T9. That was a bit of a nightmare for me, to be honest. I've tried a lot of different things to keep that marker functional. I still have the thing, but it is in pieces. I can't get it to work. It's always got some sort of problem, and honestly it needs a whole new build on the regulator. So again, maybe not the best comparison as far as I'm concerned, but it is a marker that I've used, and honestly, one of the features that I really disliked about it was where the magazine was stored, which was actually in the grip itself. And that would make the grip extremely large. This is very ergonomic. This fits my hand. I got small hands, man. And I just didn't like the way that felt in the hand. It would jam constantly, and breaking it down was honestly a huge pain in the neck, whereas this is extremely easy. The T-15 is far and above an upgrade to the T9, and I can say that with absolute confidence. I had fun with the T9, but that thing is retired. Now let's compare this to the big boy, my bolt action. They are two different beasts. The bolt action was absolute silk, just smooth, fun. You can cycle the bolt, load the next ball, and fire it 70 yards downrange and know you're going to hit your target, especially if you had it tuned the way that I did. And that was a great feeling. But it kept you out of the action a little bit, obviously. Playing sniper ball, you're sitting in the back, you're picking people off, waiting for your rest of your team to push up, and you had your purpose. But there were certain games where it would definitely be a little bit more difficult, especially in a walk-on session on a Saturday at Doodlebug. Great talking piece, a lot of fun, and honestly, for what it's worth, I miss the thing every single day. But as it is, I want it to be more up in the action. Now, you could argue I could have rebuilt that rifle and repurposed it and made it into a CQB. But that's not why I got that rifle. I got it for long range, I got it for precision, and when I decided to part ways with it, I wanted to make sure that it went to a good home that was going to use it for a similar purpose and appreciate all the work that had been done to it and all the care that had been taken for it. Now to compare this to that, this is a semi-auto, this is a rushdown, this is get field position, this has over double the capacity and magazine space, it's reliable with round ball, it's reliable with first strike. I love this thing, and I think it much more fits my play style, and it's less than half the cost. Now, can I say one over the other? That depends on your play style. I would say the SAR was absolutely a sniper's dream, whereas this, I haven't experienced the sniper yet. I have it built and ready for first strike, I just haven't made the switch, and I have a feeling that it's going to be very, very smooth, especially when I have my Karmatech barrel to go with it. Now, as I have this built now, this is more of a take point, get field position, and support your team type of rifle, and I really enjoy that role, and I think I fill it well, and I have a lot of fun doing it. So for me personally, this has been a better fit as far as my play style in paintball, at least to this point. Now if you've got the money to spend on a SAR, you can do 1,000,001 things with it, and it's absolutely a beast. And if you don't quite have that money, I think that this is absolutely the second best thing. And I've had nothing but fun with it. It's been nothing but a smooth ride. And even for being the third owner, it's been amazing. And I love this thing. And I highly recommend it. But who do I recommend it to? Anyone who is in MagFed already is going to know what this marker is. So you don't need me to make a recommendation for you. You have your knowledge, you've done your research, you know what MagFed Paintball is. But let's say you're new to MagFed, and you just got your first Tippmann pistol from the Pro League shop, and you're having fun running with your friends and doing pistol games. I think that's great. Is this the next step for you? Maybe not. That's a big jump. It's over double the cost of what I know that that pistol costs. It takes a certain level of passion, I think, to go into a build like this. I know Tippmann makes a couple other cheaper models that not only use the same magazine that the pistol uses, they serve a similar purpose. But in my opinion, Tippmann will always be a little bit cheaper in their delivery of what something like this offers. I know that there are other guns out there like the E-Tech and the Diadem, and those are great. I've never used them, to be honest. They haven't really appealed to me. But the question that we're asking is, who do I recommend this to? And honestly, I recommend it to anyone who has a passion for real steel firearms, anyone who has a passion for simulation in their game, anyone who has a passion for tactical realism, putting on the vest, carrying 4, 5, 6 magazines with you, doing the long games, filling a couple different roles, communication. This is going to give you that feeling when you're on the field. This is going to feel right in your hands, and you're going to have a lot of fun with it. So in my opinion, if you're planning to spend $500 to $800 on a paintball marker, I think if you're in that price range, this is the dead winner. Now you guys know me. I'm a small channel, I'm a local guy. I'm here for you guys. I'm not sponsored by a company. I'm not sponsored by First Strike, and I'm not making any recommendation here to influence anyone. I am here to give you my honest opinion, and my honest opinion is this thing's awesome. And if it's in your price range, go for it. And let's buddy up and go downfield. And if it's not, you're not missing out, man. Stick with your budget and enjoy the sport of paintball. There's plenty of cheaper MagFed markers that are reliable and fun to use. And all that matters is that you're out there. These are all just my opinions, and take it for what it is. If you've got questions or if there's something else that you want to know, I know that there's plenty of really good YouTube videos out there right now that go into a full breakdown of everything the newer models have to offer, and I think that those guys do a great job. If there's something that you want to know from me specifically, and my experiences, or if you own one of these and you're having an issue, I've probably already been through it and I might be able to help you out, but hit me up in the comments. Let me know what's going on. And just one more time, guys, this weekend, Saturday the 16th, get to the field, Doodlebug Sports, let's go out, let's go play, let's team up, and like I said, please don't be a stranger. If you've seen the videos, if you've been a fan of the channel, or if you just want to come and say, hey, I'm there, let's have fun, come say hey. But that's all I got for you today, so thanks for watching.